And so it was said that if the pillars of the world shall fall, darkness will descend upon all that lives. From the Book of the Dark. Man did not heed this warning. The sacred cosmic tree burned to cinder. And so the darkness came, claiming all that was bright and living in Thea. When all hope was lost, after a century without light, the sun rose once more. Thea awakened from her dark slumber, and you along with her. But Thea is not the world that once was. The age of darkness weakens, but it is far from over. Life took its shy roots, yet death will not release its grip easily. While the sun keeps some of the evil in check during the fleeting days, at night, the creatures of darkness roam free and angry, unwilling to give up their dominion over the land. It is up to you to find a way to rebuild Thea, banish the darkness, and strengthen mankind.
Hey, what is up, gamers? It's Luxboo here with Game Gamut, coming at you with Thea the Awakening, using the Return of the Giants DLC. This game is a turn-based strategy game, think Civilization in that manner. But what I really like about the game is the combat system is a lot like Hearthstone. So basically your party is your playing cards, your deck, and in that you're going to be gathering resources, you're going to be building up your village, you're going to be gearing out and decking out your expedition, as they call it in this game. You can have more than one expedition, and I have just had a phenomenal time playing this game. I got it about a week ago, and I already have about 30 some odd plus hours into this game. So I'm going to be, well, I guess first I unlocked a new god in the game. So I'm going to be making a new Let's Play series playing that god. I beat the game once before using an old god. That was fun. It was nice and easy. So really excited to bring to you and bring forth to you this game. So here we go. We're going to go to a new game. Unfortunately, let me just do one thing. Honestly, this game's kind of loud. Still loud, whatever. So yeah, so this is who I was playing. I had a hell of a time playing as her. But we're going to go... Oh, okay, so... We're going to go in. So this is Lada. Lada! What I really like about her is the fact that there's her followers research faster and they gather faster. Really, in my opinion, that's what I really focus on when I'm playing. A couple of key elements to the game, as you saw: gathering resources, researching using the tech tree. Researching is kind of unique in this game.
Thea is awakened.
I'll get to that in a sec.
Welcome. No time to waste. All right.
I agree. I'm skipping the tutorial. No time to waste. So you start off with a Stoya. One of the first things you want to do is take a look. Well, I guess I'll go through the buttons real quick. So on the right here, this is the party. Your god. And on the right is going to be how many people are in Astoria. So there's 4. But if I were to go to this, so there's 6 people in the expedition. I can move 5 squares. I've got 10 turns of fuel, 14 turns of food, and this is my encumbrance level, my weight management. And really, that's really critical to the game. Not just on a on an expedition level, but on a character by character level. So really balancing out everyone's weight and getting them the best gear that they could wear, and making them just great. Yeah, just great. So here's the research tree. Well, I guess the research bar, the status bar. You can only gain research by crafting to advance on. I'll get more into that later. Experience, it's pretty straightforward there. Gain experience off virtually everything you do. When you do that, your expedition as well as people in Ostoya will level up, and they'll get certain attributes. While I'm on the topic of attributes, I'm going to go into my party really quick. So looking at one of my people, there is a plethora of different attributes that Navoya has. Yeah, none of these are easy to say. I'll just stick to Navoya. So all of these serve as different different purposes. So for instance, you have your typical fighting, where your basic deck, it will be fighting with swords and maces and spears. But there might be in certain events strength checks, physical checks, intelligence checks, magic checks, and all of these different attributes that this character has, as well as everyone else in the expedition, will serve a massive purpose in ensuring that my expedition can successfully manage that event or whatever the instance might be. It'll make sense as I go on. So in the lower right, there's 5 buttons. The research tree. I'm not going to go too heavy into this. There's a lot here, but gathering, crafting, and construction is the core of the game. Typically, I like to focus on gathering, more specifically towards things that I have found but I can't gather yet. So, for instance, I cannot gather amber until I research into it. I cannot craft one-handed swords until I obviously research it, and so forth, and so on. This is my game log. This tells me what I need to do next, where I need to go. It's pretty intuitive. It's also, it's kind of like a journal. All the games that I've played in the past, thinking back to like Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 3, is you need to really read your journal to figure out what you need to do. And I like that. I don't really like being led and just instantly given that idea of what I need to do. I like to just figure it out on my own. This is to go to my settlement, so Astoria. I'll break this out in a minute. We have cycling groups, so between Astoria and my first expedition. Once I have more expeditions, I can cycle between those as well. And this shows me what is readily available for me to gather. Interesting thing to note is if it's light, I can gather it. So I can gather this wood, I can gather this string. My expedition can't gather wood in these vegetables, and that's because Astoria is already doing that for me. So I don't need to worry about those. However, in order for me to collect spider silk, I will need to go to my research tree and research spider silk. Now, the interesting thing is if I decide not to research spider silk, this is a very important thing, I think. It'll tell you how many places you've discovered where the resource can be gathered. If I were to do, say, gold and click cancel, nothing exists that I've found. However, when I do research it, it will tell me one location. It might be a random location, I'm not really sure. But I usually wait before I start researching. Going into the village tab, I'll go in through this way. 3 basic elements of your village. You have gathering, or I guess in terms of production, you've got gathering. So on the left here, I've got 3 people that can gather, which I've specified in my hero selection screen. Gonna want to gather at least my food per turn. So what this is telling me is I'm going to be gathering 14 food every turn. If I were to put, say, this guy, I'm not even going to try. He's not a gatherer, but he will provide 5 wood per turn. Or, I'm sorry, he'll make 5 work progress per turn towards gathering 7 wood. In parentheses shows how much wood I have. The addition is what I'll get at the end of 11 turns. Obviously, he's not going to be gathering. He's my construction worker. So I will be gathering 14 vegetables, 7 food per level, which is awesome. But I'm going to focus on food for the time being. From a crafting perspective, I mean, the quest starts you off with wanting to collect. I don't have anything else to really make right now. I mean, I could make beef jerky. So I guess I suppose I'll do that. Just max out how much I can do. Drag them there, and now I'm producing jerky. Going back to this really quick. So let me just put these elements back in. So your primary material is going to guide your base properties that'll be down here. That's really for swords and armor and whatnot. The secondary material will kind of be the boosting effect. It might also provide an additional benefit. Kind of rare, but it might happen. And then your catalyst. In food, that doesn't really matter. I recommend using wood. However, if you're making, say, weapons, armor, or anything in between, your catalyst is going to define the chance rate of you making something of a good quality, which will be very important as the game goes on. On the right, it'll show how much it's going to pack, how much work is required to go into the jerky, and how much the jerky will weigh. This will also show you for every unit that's every time that I guess 8 jerkies produced. For this, 0 research points will go towards my research tech tree. That's fine for the time being. That should change once I once I start collecting vegetables. And then the construction tab, not going to really get into that right now. And before I even start, like I gotta turn this down. Jesus, that's just blasting my ears. So, a couple of things I can do with my expedition. Since I'm not doing the tutorial, I don't really have anywhere to really go. I'm just going to need the quest line to really progress for me. If I were to choose to do so, I can move down here, look at my portrait, set up a camp, and I can gather the wood. This shows me my gather area. If I research spider silk, I'd be able to do that too, but not wanting to do that. So what I'm actually going to do is explore just a little bit. Let me show the equipment tab as well. So this shows me what everyone's wearing. So this is my party. I've got a hunter, 2 warriors, 2 gatherers, and a medic. Medic's always good to have because it might prevent your party from dying. So far, based on what... Oh, he's a craftsman. He's a craftsman, guys. He's a craftsman. I don't have a medic. So far, what I've been able to gather, having a medic is critical. So getting to that point early on will ensure that you're not going to lose your party, which has been fucking happening to me. Again, on the right here, this is the encumbrance level. He can hold 200. He has a one-handed sword. It'd be really nice to give him a shield, but it would over-encumber him, so he cannot wear that, which is a damn shame. A damn shame. So I just really have 1 shield to throw around. No one's going to take it. And my turn is over, so I'm just going to... Every now and then, the NPCs will move. New ones will come into place. Others will go away. I'm going to kill this freaky rat lady that's running around. A witch and some rats. Okay, so here's the battle phase. If you've ever played Hearthstone, you know that you can take a look at the cards you have, and if you don't like what you have, you can reshuffle them. You kind of get that. However, I actually really like my starting party. So there's 3 different attack types. You're not seeing one of them right now, but there is the spear, the piercing damage. So the piercing damage allows me to play this card as long as, well, I can play this guy anyway, but if the other guy has laid down a card and it's the most right card on the playing board, I will do half the damage of my piercing damage and also be placed in front of that guy. That's pretty critical in terms of owning the battlefield, and that's really important to ensuring that your party isn't hurt, and that's very important early on. The other one's normal melee damage. This is my shield, so when I lay him down, he'll have 9 health plus 5 shield, and if there's anyone that's hurt, they'll take 1 poison, or if there's anyone he attacks, they'll take 1 poison damage. They'll take 2 if they're already injured. On the left, these are the guys I can play right away. On the right, I can use an ability to help these guys fight. I can also lay them down. They'll have to miss a turn, though. And on the right here, I can reshuffle, or I can just surrender. But A, I'm not going to reshuffle, and B, I never surrender. So we're going to go into this, and we're going to play. And this is great because you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to lay down this guy, who's going to do 5 damage and take out the rat right away. And then I'm going to lay down this guy who's not going to do that, but he's going to be a great frontline runner. So he's going to lay down 2 hulking rats. This is a unique opportunity to play a counter tactic card. So these are the tactic cards for the CPU, and these are the offensive cards. These are also considered tactic cards, so I'm going to use a tactic card to take out one of their guys. In order to use an ability that will directly impact the enemy, the level of the card has to be equal or lesser value of the level that is shown here. So, For instance, I cannot confuse the witch because she's level 4 and my confuse level is level 2. That can improve over leveling up my party. That can improve over using certain items. But yeah, I think we're all getting the idea here. But I can also do this. The unique benefit is now I can attack the witch. So basically it's going to go left to right. This guy's going to be able to attack first, then this guy, assuming these two live, which they won't. They would be able to attack, but they're both going to die, and then he's going to be able to attack, and they're all dead. So I don't even need to play any more cards. This is going to be a done deal here for me. Oh, the other thing too is anything that goes in the discard pile is attacked after everyone in the playing field is attacked. And once all cards are dead, you win. I don't know what losing feels like yet. But I was playing on easy before, so who knows? I'm playing on normal this time, so I might
You stumble
experience
across
that.
one of many buildings you tirelessly searched through contains a closed stash.
So this
It
is
takes
one
you
of the
almost
events.
An hour to open it, but
What I can
luckily,
do,
it's not empty.
I can keep it, which I don't think I'm going to do. 2 damage, not a whole lot. Although it would be nice to have blunt damage. It'd be nice to have blunt too. But I don't need this. Could probably use the bone and the iron to make something else, so I'm just going to click on that and take my loot and run. And I'm going to attack these guys as well. Malicious spiders, no problem. I mean, really, no problem. So, I'm going to lay down this card. So he can confuse, he can shield, he can give first action, which a level 1 first action is pretty useless. Everyone in your party is at least level 3, even ones you find later on. So the get closer will put him into play, but he won't be able to do anything for the first turn. So he's kind of obsolete, but he is there. The great thing about having piercing damage on a tactical card is that I can still get closer. He won't be able to attack his first turn, but he'll still do his piercing damage. That is amazing, and I love it. And now they don't have anything, and I'm going to use my counter tactic card. He's got no more cards to play, so instead of being able to play 1 card, I can now play the rest of my cards. Let's kick his ass. And that should be good. I kicked all of their cards' ass. So this is a token. 2 armor, not bad. I don't want to equip him to somebody. Usually my warriors start off with some good damage. These guys not so much. It's kind of sad and pathetic actually. 2 damage, 4 shielding. See, now here's an important feature here. I'm going to be equipping the sword. I'm going to take away this guy's lucky button for 2 armor, because now I can equip a shield on him. That's fantastic. I can give it to my other warrior, and we will be good. The other thing I'm going to do too is I'm going to swap these guys and their piercing damage. Since it does half damage, it makes sense to have that have the piercing damage do more.
Yes, wonderful. You made your first batch of prepared food. No longer are you a...
Alright, so he wants me to build. Let me find it. Alright, so for a pasture I'm going to need wood, which I don't have enough yet. Vegetables, which I am definitely getting there on. And then I can just use wood again. Since I don't have enough wood, I'm going to reassign a woodworker. I'm actually going to reassign all the woodworkers. So I believe in theory, instead of getting +7 each turn, I should be getting +14 because I need 54 work or I guess, yeah, 54, I don't know, task points. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. But, you know, multiply that by 2, you get 108, and I'm producing 145 task work bar progresses per turn. So that should bolster my ability to make my pasture. I'm going to attack once again, but I'm going to do hunting just to show off, or show you guys what hunting is. So I could be attacking like 4 bats right now, which would be no problem. Hunting should be no problem as well. If you notice, things have changed for my party. They're a little different now, and that's because they're hunting. These guys, you know, my hunter's got a hunter ability, so that's awesome. As you can see, perception, I believe, is counter offense in fighting abilities, but now it's my first action, which means if I lay down someone level 2, I'll move them all the way from the right all the way back down to the left, so they get the first attack. And actually, all of my tactic cards are pretty useless. So I'm gonna lay down this guy. That's the best option right there, and then I'm gonna lay down him as well. Some more reds. It should be quite easy. I've got no reason to play anyone else. Navoya might be taking some hits, but that is okay. As long as you gamers are satisfied and you can see the difference in fighting. And I also think the rewards are a little different too. So yeah, so I tracked down my prey, got him to the traps. Some of the pack could have gotten away, but I got my win. So maybe there could have been a little bit more loot here. I typically always fight when I can, but there might be events where you don't have that option to fight. Usually related to the quest line. So this is cool, gathering tools. That'll help people. Wait for it. Gather. So I'm gonna give that to somebody that can handle it, which he can. And before I wrap up the video, I'm just going to quickly show what it's like to gather. So I'm going to set up a camp, go to the gather tree, and it looks just like your village. Son of a bitch. Doesn't really matter if you play these guys, they're going to attribute only two to the work progress as a helper. But I did level, or no, I did not level up. I did have other people level up. People's abilities improved. I don't really check this too often, but so +2 intelligence to Zamir, so a bunch of health to the warriors, some speech, animal kinship. It's actually kind of cool. You can get beasts, you can get dwarves, orcs in your party, depending on how you craft your buildings. So I'm just gonna blow through a couple of turns here. That way I can bring all of this back to base and give them some additional food to cook additional items with. They can keep the amethyst sword, the mushrooms, all of that fun jazz. They can even keep that food. So I might keep my guys around for a little bit. Definitely needing to cook some food now. Oh man, I actually haven't cooked like a mushroom dish. I don't even know what Bigos is. It's made of sauerkraut. Ugh, gross. People love sauerkraut. Not a sauerkraut guy. I mean, just saying it. People hate the word moist and shit. I hate the word sauerkraut. That word is just should not exist. It just shouldn't exist. It shouldn't be around. All right. Anyway, so yeah, go ahead and cook that sauerkraut. Shit. Ugh, gross. And so I'm gonna leave it off on this note. I'm 9 to. Oh, all right. Oh shit. They only have one turn of food. So, leaving off Astoya with a bunch of food ready to produce. The technology tree well underway. In fact, not only that, but yes, I forgot I put all that special attention into wood so that I could make a pasture. So the pasture is going to give me 1 food per turn. It's going to be random, and I have an opportunity to attract a human. +2. I don't know what really the fuck that means yet, but just improves my chances of getting a new guy into my village. So that's always good. So I think I'm off to a good start here. Really looking forward to seeing what's going to be going on with this. I will be making more. Gamers, I'm like in love with this game right now, and it was recently announced that this game is going to be coming out with a 2nd installment. It's an indie game. You check it out on Steam. It's called Thea: The Awakening. I think it comes with the DLC Return of the Giants, because I don't even remember buying DLC for the game. So yeah, check it out. If you need any more tutorials, hints, I'm going to be making this until I see it through. So let me know what you think. Happy gaming, gamers.